BINO Nation, we back in the building, and we got another one for you. We got another one. Pretty sure you guys have seen it by now. If you haven't seen it, we about to get into it. Trust and believe. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button as you come in. Make sure you hit the Cash App and support the show. Anybody that drops 100 or more will be a sponsor of the show. Anybody that drops 500 or more will be the super sponsor of the show. If you want to be a sponsor on a monthly basis, long term, check out some of the membership options that we got going on. Make sure you guys are putting the BINO shields in the chat. Oh my God. The sisterhood is triggered, y'all. The sisterhood is highly upset about the comments that were made by David Justice about his ex, Halle Berry. They in they fifis, y'all, and we got to talk about it. We got to talk about it, and we got to point out a few things in reference to the statements that he made. And why I feel like the sisterhood need to be quiet. You feel me? But we going to cook today. We going to cook today, trust and believe. So, without further ado, y'all already know what time it is.
Where'd you find this?
That boy is good.
Tell him about the gun line, boss.
I don't feel like you standing on business, nigga.
I've been doing this for a long time. And most importantly, we need you.
That's that BINO energy.
She belongs to the street.
Spartan! What is your profession?
Yeah, we back in the stew yet again. And y'all know what that means.
Tell him about the gun line, boss. You're now tuned in
You are now tuned into
to the realest show on YouTube with your host, the Angryman.
Shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to the whole BINO Nation. If you're part of the BINO Nation, put the BINO shields in the chat. I shouldn't have to explain to you how to do that. If you're BINO, you already know how to do it. You feel me? But make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure you're hitting the Cash App and supporting the show. Anybody that drops 100 or more will be a sponsor of the show. Anybody that drops 500 or more will be a super sponsor of the show. And we are hard at work to get a new drop for anybody that drops 500 or more. You feel me? Shout out to my man, 100 grand Jerome. He said, bring the truth, bro. You already know. Shout out to my man, Dark Power in the building, as always. Let's see. Shout out to Love. Appreciate the contribution. You feel me? Let's see who we got in here. Who do we got in the building? Who we got? I see Tootie Bug in the building. Shout out to Tootie Bug. I see my man Malika in the building. Let's see who else we got. Famous Davis is in here. Mr. Click Clack himself. Who else do I see in here? My man Will is in the building. What's going on, Will? So there's something that I want to address briefly. I shouldn't even address it, but I'm gonna address it anyway. I'm gonna waste no more than 7 sentences on it. 10 at the most. I'm gonna waste 10 sentences on it and just get it out the way. So there's a lot of individuals that are running around YouTube talking about me like, I know, what's new? What's new, right? And they all have so much to say. And there was a time back in the day when I would waste my time responding specifically to people who have not built what I built. In other words, I would respond to them by name. I don't do that anymore. I don't know why these individuals don't understand this. I don't do that anymore. My focus is on my legacy, not internet noise. Okay. For those of you that doubt my success or my accolades, it doesn't really matter. YouTube already gave me my plaque. The people have already gave me their love. Because if you think for 1 second I'm not the people's champ, you've lost your mind. At the end of the day, that's all I needed. I'm good. There are many of you individuals that are trying to get that. And I wish you nothing but love and success. Go do your thing. But continuing to talk about me because you think saying my name is going to help you grow or give you more energy, like some sort of parasite trying to siphon off of my mojo. It's just further proof that that was the entire reason you Negroes linked up with me in the first place. Because as I've stated before, when I came to YouTube, I didn't pursue none of you Negroes. I didn't seek out any of you Negroes. You came to me. Wanted me on your shows, wanted to kick it with me on YouTube, wanted to be on my live streams, call into my shows, be in my chat rooms and stuff. And I realize now that the only reason why you were trying to do that is because you were trying to get just a little piece of whatever it is that was making me shine. And now that I don't say your names, or now that I don't associate with you, now that I'm not around you, you're trying to figure out how you can still do that. So before, clinging on to my coattail was how you did what you did. Now it's hating on me. And like I've said so many times before, trying to hate on someone else is not going to make you better than the person you're hating on. Just do your thing. Just do your thing and stop, chill out with the free press. I think I got enough free press. I think I got enough. You feel me? But I just felt the need to address that, get that out of the way. Because it's tiring. It's tiring. Like, get over it already. Get over it already. Like it wasn't your plan. I know what your plans were for me. Your plans for me was for me to be irrelevant. Your plans for me was for me to be destitute, for me to be an unknown. But your plans don't trump God's plan. Just doesn't. You feel me? And I know you hate to see a yellow nigga doing his thing. Y'all hate a yellow boy living his life. But it's all good, man. Let's get into this topic. So, for those of you who didn't see it when it first went down, David Justice, and look, I'm talking to a Gen X audience, so I already know y'all know who I'm talking about. David Justice went on to I guess it's called the All Smoke podcast. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. It's either All Smoke, Nothing But Smoke. I don't know. I know one of the hosts is Matt Barnes, right? So he went on to the All Smoke podcast, and he was up there chilling with Matt Barnes. You feel me? Two light-skinned brothers chilling. Two light-skinned athletes. And as he was asking him questions, he asked him a question about Halle Berry, or he asked him a question about relationships, being in the public, having your relationship in the public. And he said,
I will tell you what.
Let's see if I can pull it up real quick. Let's pull it up real quick. I think I saved it. I'm pretty sure y'all can hear the sound. So let me play what he said. Here we go right here. Let's play this.
Like having personal stuff public, such as relationships and stuff like that. How hard was that back then? Because again, if there's some bullshit out there, you just kind of have to go with it because there's no real filter or, opportunity for you to speak your piece.
So I didn't really have any really real personal stuff until, Halle and I got together, you see. And of course, that was a lot of focus because back in them times, I can't think other than Joe DiMaggio and Marilyn Monroe. I can't think of anybody before that was us.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. I can't think of no one. Mm-hmm. And then Halle coming up young and being hot and just trying to make her career. And then you got me. And, it really wasn't a lot of negative attention until I decided to leave her in 1996. I remember Halle saying to me, hey, she asked me to marry her after knowing me for 5 months. And I mean, I said, okay. But because I couldn't say no.
I mean, yeah, who's going to say no at that time?
You know, and I said, okay. But I don't know if my heart was really into it.
Right.
But I didn't want to make her feel bad and say no, you know, or like I was just in the moment. It caught me off guard. But I was like, cool, we getting along, we vibing. We only 5 months in, you know, we still in the honeymoon state. And then all of a sudden, that followed up. I met Halle in May of 1992. So you talking about, then we got married January 1st, 1993.
Damn.
Right? And, but we spent a lot of time apart because she was doing movies in this country, that country. And we honestly, we probably could have made it if I knew about therapy. If we knew about therapy, we probably could have made it because we never had any major issues like that. Mm-hmm. It's just that because I was young and had only been in, honestly, one real relationship before her, my knowledge and my understanding, my wisdom around relationships just wasn't vast. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at my mom, and I'm a Midwest guy. So in my mind, I'm thinking a wife at that time should cook, clean.
Traditional.
You know, and then I'm thinking, okay, if we have kids, you know, is this the woman I want to have kids with and build a family with? And at that time, as a young guy, she don't cook, don't clean, don't really seem like motherly. And then we start having issues. Listen, we never, I'll say this. We never had any issues about other women, other men. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, I was never tripping when, well, I was tripping one time when she...
Hold on, I got one time I was tripping.
At one time, because I didn't understand it. When we were out to lunch in L.A., and I remember I'm from Cincinnati, man. I ain't even in the L.A. scene like that. And she see an actor that she worked with one time, and he came in, hey, kissed him on the lips.
Oh.
What are we doing around here?
Was he European or American? I'm
confused. American.
What the fuck is going on here?
Oh, so I know this is going to be a conversation. So get home and I ask about that. Oh, that's what we do in L.A. Oh, okay then. So now her manager and I used to go to this restaurant all the time. I had a young lady at the front seat us all the time. We went there so much, she became so friendly. We got to hugging her every time we come in. Hey, how you doing? Just regular hug. Take Halle and his wife to lunch one time. I said, Halle, this is such and such. This is Halle, right? Halle looked at that girl, saw how fine she was. Man, she gave her one of them, like, barely touched her hand, right? Just played her crazy. Mm-hmm. I was embarrassed, bro. I was like, but wait, hold on. I just hugged the girl.
Right.
You kissed this dude, and you mad at me because I hugged the girl? So remember, we young. So, you know, young, you get petty.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You petty when you're young. And there's things you just do that are petty when you're young. Well, anyway, the honeymoon stage was over, right? And now it's just David and Halle. And when it's just David and Halle, I just realized this is not the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. Mm-hmm. So February 1996, I told her, hey, I can't do this no more. We don't have any kids. You said you wouldn't want any money from me because really she didn't have any money. I was the one who bought the house in LA. I was the one who had my house in Atlanta. I'm really footing everything. Mm-hmm. And I said, you know, you said you didn't want any money, so we don't have any kids. We should just make a clean break. And she was like, no. No. And then all of a sudden I find out I got all these women. I find out I'm doing all this other stuff. And so what she was doing is, see, I'm just an athlete. I don't have managers. Mm-hmm. I don't have this system behind me. You see, she got managers. She got all this kind of stuff.
She got the machine.
Mm-hmm. So you got the machine now coming against me. Mm. And I remember my mom saying to me, she was like, listen, baby, all the media want to do is see you two, you young black kids fighting with each other. She said, you just take the high road and let her say whatever she want to say, but I don't want you out here talking bad about that girl. Mm. My mama said this to me. I'm an only child, raised with just my mom. What my mom said was gospel.
Right.
So I said, okay, Mom, I won't assault her like that in public. I might talk a lot of junk to the boys, but I ain't gonna say nothing in public. And I didn't, man. I didn't. I just watched her say all this stuff about me, and I was like, and so crazy is the one thing that probably I would say hurt the most is Halle had a relationship with a gentleman who hit her on the side of the head, and so she lost some hearing, but she never made him public, and I'm not gonna make him public because I ain't gonna do him like that. I know who it is. But for people to think, oh, it had to be David Justice because the only person they associated her with was me. Now, she said it was a former boyfriend. I'm not a former boyfriend. I was her husband.
Right.
That's different.
Big difference.
But literally, from 96 until even today, sometimes I'll see some on social media. Well, he hit her in the head. I'm like, oh, that's just a quick Google search.
Yeah.
Do a quick Google search. That girl ain't never said I hit her in the head. But one thing I didn't like is, but she let you think that.
Right.
She let the world think it.
That's tough.
She didn't come out and say, oh, no, it wasn't David. But I'm not going to say who it was, but it wasn't him. No, she let the world think that it was me. And that I never appreciated with her. I thought she was dead wrong for that. I thought she should have handled that better. And I always said like this, man, if I was so bad, you would think she would keep my name out of her mouth. She would be so happy I left, right? If I was so bad as a husband, she'd be like, whoa, I'm so glad he left me, boy. Because it didn't like it was hard for her to find a next dude, right? She kept my name in her mouth because she wanted to be with me. She wanted us to work out. You know what I mean? And I know now that I've gotten a lot older and I look back, I mean, it's been a long time since I look back on that situation, but when I probably got probably like in my 30s, and I was more mature, and I look back on that situation, and I'm like, you know, that girl really, really did love me, you know, and I can see why she would be so mad at me. Because imagine if you really love somebody, and they tell you they want to break up, and there ain't nothing you can say to get them back. That's had to be tough on her. I just wasn't emotionally mature at that age to really truly understand the magnitude of how she was really feeling. And I would have did things different back then too. I wouldn't have just, man, literally when I left her, I didn't even talk to her no more. Like, that is so, that like, I didn't even ease out. Hey, I don't want to be together no more. Gone. You see? I mean, I could have massaged that better, Matt. I could have. So
y'all got the full picture, right? Y'all got the full picture, right? After he did this interview, we all know that the internet was ablaze. We all know that the Sisterhood came out in full force because, you know, in the mind of the sisters, there is no possible way that this ex-baseball player could have broken up with the gorgeous, the incomparable Halle Berry. There's no way, because, you know, there's no other women on the planet that look better than Halle Berry. Halle Berry is the cream of the crop. She the best thing smoking. She the best thing that since sliced bread, right? You even got grown men on the internet crashing out. I can't believe David Justice sitting up there on that interview with Matt Barnes talking about Halle Berry like that. How he gonna talk about Halle Berry like that? That's Halle Berry. That's Halle Berry. Right? In fact, hold on. Let's.
It really wasn't back to the point of.
Let's see. I got this. This is what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna show you guys some of the statements that some of these chicks done said about David Justice. Let's pull up a couple of these statements So you can get an idea, so you can get a picture of what these chicks is saying about David Justice. And look, fair warning. I'm gonna give y'all fair warning, because what they about to say is triggering. It's very triggering. Let's pull it up on the screen so y'all can see it. So let's see. Let's start with this one.
Imagine being married to Halle Berry. That Halle Berry, and saying you divorced her because she didn't cook or clean. The Halle Berry. Mind you, you're married to Halle Berry from 93 to 97, and in that span, she filmed 10 movies. But yes, why isn't she cooking? Why isn't she clean? Not to mention, you, the person married to Halle Berry, make a lot of money playing baseball. You can pay someone to cook and clean for both of you. It's not that Halle didn't love him enough, didn't give him enough kisses, wasn't around, worked too much, didn't stimulate him intellectually. She did not cook and she did not clean. And that's the issue David Justice had. Wow.
I don't know how to say this any other way. There's no way for me to say it to where I can soften the blow. You modern individuals, you are some of the biggest losers on planet Earth. If a Major League Baseball player that makes a ton of money can't get the woman that he wants, can't get a woman that does the bare minimum of cooking and cleaning, like, what are we talking about here? I thought that if y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. If I remember correctly, one of the excuses when they first started this trend of not cooking and cleaning was, didn't they used to say, well, I'll be more of a traditional woman if you be more of a traditional man and pay for everything? Wasn't that the excuse? Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't the excuse that why should we be cooking and cleaning for men that don't pay for everything? Wasn't that the excuse? The excuse was basically that, okay, well, look, we have to work just like y'all have to work in order to pay 50-50. We got to pay some of the bills too. So why should we have to cook and clean? So if a dude that's in a 50-50 relationship with a woman can't get her to cook and clean, so when you're with a guy that only makes a certain amount of money, so you got to work too and help pay the bills, that's your excuse for not cooking and cleaning. When the dude makes a ton of money, your excuse is he can pay somebody to cook and clean. What it's starting to sound like to me is that no matter what the circumstances are, you're going to figure out some kind of excuse not to cook and clean. What it really sounds like, it just sounds like y'all are lazy. That's all it sounds like. It sounds like y'all are lazy and trifling. That's all it sounds like. Because what man does qualify for cooking and cleaning? Which one? Who qualifies? The 50-50 guy don't qualify because you got to work too. The 100% guy don't qualify because he can pay somebody to do it, right? Like what is starting to look like, if you look at David Justice's relationship with Halle Berry, what it sounds like is she was supposed to just be there to be pretty. He should just be happy that he's got a beautiful woman like Halle Berry. I don't know if y'all remember or not, but he was a Major League Baseball player. A Major League Baseball player. And you're sitting up here talking about he should have just been happy? Because that seems to be the mentality. The mentality seems to be he should have just been happy because it was Halle Berry. So what? He was David Justice. Like, what are we talking about? We got another one.
Did y'all see that old washed up MLB player that used to be married to Halle Berry?
Did you hear what she said? I gotta rewind that shit.
Did y'all see that old washed up MLB player that used to be married to Halle Berry talking about he didn't want to be with her anymore because she didn't cook and clean? You married Halle Berry and expected her to be on her hands and knees scrubbing baseboards, being barefoot pregnant and cooking and cleaning for you like a housewife? Bro, that's Halle Berry. This is what I mean when I say I don't understand men. Because why would you go out and marry one of the most successful, rich, recognizable women in entertainment and then expect her to come home and act like a normal ass housewife with no job? Like, no shade to housewives.
You just got through shading housewives. What I'm trying to figure out is why does her being a successful movie star, why does that have anything to do with her being a wife? Like, you just got through shitting on housewives, and then you're going to follow it up with no shade to housewives. Like, what? Are we serious?
Women in entertainment and then expect her to come home and act like a normal ass housewife with no job. Like, no shade to housewives, but that's just not Halle Berry. She can hire someone to cook and clean. Why do you want her to do that? It's like when Ariana Grande's husband apparently wanted a divorce because he didn't realize how famous she was. Just keep breathing and breathing and breathing and breathing. You don't really...
Okay. First of all, you mud flap. Ariana Grande was not married to David Justice. Yo, I told my wife today. I said the Sisterhood is on the internet coming for David Justice, and I'm not gonna have it. I'm not gonna have it. I'm gonna cook today. This is ridiculous, bro. This is beyond ridiculous, fam. This is beyond ridiculous.
That's who you married? Did you Google her? She's Ariana Grande. Your mama probably got her songs on her playlist. Are y'all dumb? When a woman gets married to a very successful man, whether it's an athlete or attorney or doctor or whatever the case may be, she's not expecting him to get on his knees and do housework. So why do y'all expect that?
He's not a freaking wife. Oh my God, bruh. Yo, I swear to you, I swear on everything I love, I cannot stand these modern morons. I can't stand them. And it ain't just the women, it's some of these men too. Some of these men too, like, bro, let's be clear about something. Let's be clear about something. David Justice, Atlanta Braves, right? His breakout year was 1990. I'm talking 20-some home runs. Do you know how difficult it is Do you know how difficult it is to make home runs in Major League Baseball? And look, I don't know how people rock today. I don't know how people rock today, right? But at one point, Major League Baseball was our version of the world's soccer. Okay? The way the world looks at soccer is the way Americans looked at baseball. Let's be clear about this. Let's be clear about this. David Justice was a somebody. He was not a nobody. Wasn't a nobody. We're talking about something. We're talking about someone who averaged 20-some home runs a season, 80-some RBIs, bro. What are we talking about? I don't care if it was Halle Berry. Do you have any idea? See, here's the thing. I was around. I was around, and a lot of you were around. See, a lot of these new morons that we see, she wasn't around. This a youngin'. This is a youngin' right here. She was not around. She wasn't around. She wasn't around. A lot of them that's talking this smack right now, they were not around. Let me ask you this question, everybody in here. As much as everybody wants to act like, okay, everybody envied David Justice because he had Halle Berry. As much as they want to believe that's the way it was, let me ask you guys this question. If you remember back then, dudes wanted to be with Halle Berry, but no one looked at David Justice like he wasn't supposed to have Halle Berry. In fact, back then, everybody was looking at Halle Berry like, oh, snap, she got David Justice. Tell me I'm lying. We're talking about a World Series winner. I don't care what Halle Berry's done. Halle Berry ain't Meryl Streep. What are we talking about? This man won a world. Look, check this out. If it were not for, listen. If it weren't for David Justice, what was it, 90? What was it, 95? I want to say 95. I can't remember what specific year. But David Justice is the reason the Braves even won that damn World Series. He's the reason. So we ain't just talking about she said a washed up professional baseball player. What? And the fact that you got grown men on the internet co-signing this foolishness. Like, who are you weirdos? Matter of fact, I know who you weirdos are. I know who you are. You this younger, new generation that can't dress, got crappy music, you're on 3 different drugs, and you don't know nothing. David Justice wasn't a nobody. That dude back then could have any woman he wanted. And I got news for you. Yes, Halle Berry has always been beautiful. Was she the most beautiful back then? No. No. No, this is the 90s we talking about. This is the 90s we talking about. Let's be clear. This is the 90s we talking about. We had prime Nia Long running around, bro. We had prime Vanessa Williams running around, bro. What are these clowns talking about? We had prime Vivica running around. We had prime Lisa Ray running around, bro. These dudes don't understand they don't know what the 90s was. I'm sorry. You done lost your mind. you done lost your mind. What we talking about? What we talking about? This was the 90s. This was the 90s. And guess what? Most of them women I'm naming right now would have been happy as hell to be with a David Justice. Let's be real, bro. See, the 90s, back in the 90s, that's before, in the early 90s, that's before rappers were getting all of the girls. See, in the early 90s, in the 80s and the 90s, the athletes was getting all the chicks. The athletes was getting all of the chicks, man. Especially if you was a baseball player. You know how much money they make? You know how much money professional baseball players make? And here's the reality. Here's the reality, right? When David Justice met Halle Berry, she was nobody. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. When she met David Justice, she was nobody. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. Watch this. We gonna go to the internet. When did, hold on, let's pull this up. When did Halle Berry meet David Justice? Halle Berry met David Justice in 1992. His career had already taken off in 1990. Hold on, let's pull up David Justice. David Justice, 1990. He was Rookie of the Year. He was, what year? Watch this. I guarantee you it was 1990. David Justice, what year was David Justice Rookie of the Year? 1990. I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. I was a kid and I didn't care nothing about nothing but sports. I know what I'm talking about. This is back when I gave a shit about sports. 1990, Rookie of the Year. 20-some home runs. What are we talking about? tired of the internet and I'm tired of these strags. You're not going in on David Justice. No. We're not doing this. No. Now the year that he met Halle Berry was 92. Okay? Let's pull up Halle Berry IMDb. Let's pull it up. So we got Halle Berry right here. Let's see what role she played in. Hold on. All right, let's go down to 92. Let's go down to 92. Boomerang. Boomerang. She was in Boomerang in 92. Now you tell me Boomerang was before she blew up. Cause she wasn't even the main love interest in the movie. She was supposed to be, bro, in the movie Boomerang, who was she with? She was with David Allen Greer. Y'all remember when she was in Boomerang looking all homely and shit? You remember? Marcus didn't even want her. What we talking about? Then when you go back and look at it, before Boomerang, Knots Landing. She did 6 episodes of Knots Landing, my nigga. Before that, she was in The Last Boy Scout, right? Small role. Before that, Strictly Business, small role. Before that, Jungle Fever, small role. Before that, They Came from Outer Space. She did 1 episode. Before that, she was in 1 episode of A Different World. Before that, she was in 1 episode of Amen. Before that, she was in 12 episodes of Living Dolls. And then, what's that? The Mothership? I don't even know what that is. So, around the time, look, when she did 1 episode of Amen, David Justice was knocking them out the park. David Justice was hitting home runs left and right. David Justice was Rookie of the Year when she was doing 1 episode of Amen. Like, what are we talking about? Y'all love to put it on. I tell you what, this is what's so funny about this. If it would have been the other way around, if Halle Berry would have already been a superstar movie star and David Justice met her and then his career blew up after and he left, y'all would be saying, oh, he just left because his career got better. Did it ever cross your mind that maybe, just maybe, when he met Halle Berry, she was fairly unknown, she was still humble, but the more she started to blow up, did it ever cross your mind that she started showing out? You heard the story he told about her kissing some other dude in the mouth at a restaurant, and she saying, oh, that's just what we do in Hollywood. Like, what are we talking about? At the Boomerang, she was in the miniseries Queen. They were together then. She was in CB4. They were together then. She was in Fatherhood. She was in The Program. She was in The Flintstones. Let's see. She was in Losing Isaiah. She was in an episode of Martin. She was in The Executive Decision, Girl 6, Race the Sun, or The Rich Man's Wife, Baps, The Wedding. She was in an episode of Frasier. Look, if you really want to be honest, I can argue that Halle Berry's career really didn't blow up until around this time. Because she was in introducing Dorothy Dandridge. Nobody cared about that shit. That was a TV movie. Nobody gave a shit about that. Then she was in X-Men. Then she was in Swordfish. And then she was in Monsters Ball. Bro, her career peaked right up in here and then started going downhill after Monsters Ball. Let's just be real, bruh. Let's just be real, because after that, who was really checking for her? Who was really checking for her? She was in an episode of the Bernie Mac show. She was in a 007 movie. She was in the second X-Men. She was in Gothica. Nobody cared about Gothica. You feel me? She was in a Limp Bizkit video. Then she played Catwoman, that god-awful movie, right? Then their eyes was watching God. Like, bro, what are we talking about, fam? What are we talking about? They acting like Halle Berry is like, bro, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You not gonna take a dump on a World Series winning athlete over a chick that had the potential to be a phenomenal actress and just ended up being a plaything for Billy Bob Thornton. Like, let's stop playing, bruh. Let's stop playing. And don't even get me started. Like, real talk, if you really want to be honest, David Justice dodged a bullet, if you really want to be honest. If you really want to be honest, he dodged a bullet. Look at that story Gilbert Arenas told. I know y'all remember that story Gilbert Arenas told. I think he told that story last year. Like, what are we talking about? But they running around here trying to be mad because David Justice, because David Justice know what he wanted. He wanted a wife. And this is what he said. He said, when he's thinking about a wife, he's thinking about somebody that cooks and cleans, somebody that raises the children or whatever. And he said it flat out. He was like, he didn't know if he wanted to have kids with her because she don't cook, clean, do any of those things. Why would he? Why would he? And then she, like, you got these chicks running around talking about him like he wrong for knowing what he want. And then gonna sit there and say, oh my God, that relationship was so long ago. It's been over 30 years. Why is he talking about that? Bro, he's David Justice. He does an interview. Y'all acting like he was out of place. Matt Barnes and them, that's who they interview. They interview athletes. You think David Justice is going to do an interview and Halle Berry don't come up? If you think that David Justice is doing an interview and Halle Berry's not going to be brought up in that interview, that's like if bro, listen. Any athlete that has had a relationship with a movie star, if you do an interview with them, it's gonna come up. It's gonna come up. Like, how is that not gonna come up? If you don't understand why Halle Berry would come up in a interview with David Justice, then you wasn't around back then. You wasn't around back then. If you do exactly, Ken, if you do an interview with A-Rod, J-Lo gonna come up. Hell, if you do an interview with Mark Anthony, J-Lo gonna come up. If you do an interview with Ben Affleck, J-Lo gonna come. We can do this all day. We can do this all day with J-Lo. You know how that go. But like they don't get it. Like they don't understand. And all this is this is a prime example of what I mean when I say men are not allowed to tell their story. Like they're just not. Let me ask you a question. I'm fine. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Okay. Matter of fact, I'm gonna hit you on your phone and ask you so they can hear your answer. Cause you a Gen X, so you know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna hit your phone so we can hear your answer. I'm gonna hit your phone so we can hear you. You got your phone on you right now? You got your phone on you. You got your phone on you. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I'm hitting you right now. Hitting you right. You ain't gotta be on here long. I just gotta ask you because I need them to hear you. They can't hear you because I got the sound, what you call it thing. Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Oh, okay. So you got all of these women online talking crazy. They saying, did y'all see David Justice? Or sometimes they don't even say his name. They're like, did y'all see that washed up baseball player talking about Halle Berry? And I'm like, hold on. And I'm like this. Now, I'm going to ask you this question. I want you to be honest because I know you remember, right? They're running around the internet acting like he was lucky to be with Halle Berry. Do you remember back in the day how many people was looking like, oh, she's with David Justice?
Yeah,
wasn't that the
good
vibe?
looking.
Wasn't that the vibe though?
Yeah, he was like Boris Kojo of baseball way back when. He was like,
he was a dude that a lot of women wanted to get with.
Yeah.
So and then on top of that, people forgetting. They looking at Halle Berry now as far as her entire history. When they first got together, this like when they first got together, she had just played, either she just played in it or was getting ready to play in Boomerang. Who was she before that? Really?
Strictly Business? I don't know.
And what type of movie was Strictly Business? Was that a blockbuster or was that just some shit that us black people like, oh, that's one of our movies?
Yeah.
Like she wasn't this dude is a freaking, people don't understand how big baseball players were back then.
Back in the days of Dallas Strawberry and yeah.
Like
what? I knew who he was and I didn't follow baseball like.
But they up here acting like he was a nobody or something, like he's a washed up. He won a World Series, babe. How you a washed up baseball player and you won a World Series?
Are these people our age or these people younger that don't really know who he is? Okay,
no, it's
so
these
you can't
young,
take their opinions. Yeah.
It's these young, goofy, mud flap face youngins.
So why you getting so worked up when they don't even know the history of rap or the culture and like they don't know who old school rappers are? You want them to know who David Justice was and who he played for and like.
If they don't know who he is, they don't got no business jumping on the internet bad mouthing him.
Yeah.
Like they jumping on the internet bad mouthing him like, yo, there's only, when you go back and you look at baseball, if you're not a baseball fan, there's only certain names that stand out. Okay? if you're not, I'm a baseball fan, so I'm gonna know certain names. But there's certain names, even if you ain't a baseball fan, you gonna know them names. You gonna know Darryl Strawberry. You gonna know
Bo
Babe
Jackson.
Ruth. You gonna know Bo Jackson. You gonna know Jose Canseco. You gonna know A-Rod. You gonna know Derek Jeter. You gonna know David Justice. You feel me? So like, for them to jump out there like, oh, I can't believe he expected Halle Berry to cook and cook. Who the hell was Halle Berry back then? She was on Boomerang as the love interest for David Allen Greer. That's what lets you know where her career was at in that moment.
Yeah.
Ken Griffey Jr., my bad. Barry Bonds, exactly. Sandy Koufax, exactly. Like, bro, like this. Cal Ripken Jr., that's what I'm talking about. See, I got some baseball fans in here. Like, this is disgusting.
Breathe.
This is disgusting. And I'm looking at her career, and I'm like, holy shit, when you really look at it, I guess Boomerang was her big break to like be the love interest, because she became the love interest in the movie. But if you notice, she wasn't intended to be the love interest. She was supposed to be like the girl next door type. You feel me? That glue up. And look, here's my thing. When that movie first came out, I didn't see nothing that attractive about her. And then after she started getting some money, she started looking different. You remember that? Because on Boomerang, she had them thick-ass eyebrows. She needed her eyebrows plucked.
Be nice.
She had that goofy, haircut.
That everybody got, and I didn't understand why everybody was getting behind her. Like,
yeah, that goofy haircut she had. She was not no freaking Maybelline model. You feel me? And just for the record, Baps was after Boomerang. Yeah, put that in perspective.
Well, she said she did BAPS because she was depressed and she was going through a divorce and everything like that. Like, her relationship had tanked, and she, they kind of like made her like, come outside, do this. Like, she
was in a relationship with Pierre in BAPS. She was in a relationship with Pierre in BAPS. That's why I'm sitting back like, they like, oh, Halle Berry. I'm like, who is Halle Berry supposed to be? Like,
Storm.
who is she supposed to be?
Storm.
Oh my God. Like, let's be real. Like, this is goofy. Cause I'm like, look, that all of these Negroes today may be super impressed with Halle Berry today. But in the 90s, Halle Berry was she wasn't badder than every other movie star black female.
Well, that was just during Boomerang. That was Robin Givens' time. That was that Mike Tyson stuff, and everybody was in love with Robin Givens, and that was her time.
But even then, during that time period, there were a lot of black female actresses that were beautiful. They're acting like it was just like Halle Berry just stood out by herself back then.
Yeah.
She did a biopic about Dorothy Dandridge, and nobody gave a shit. Nobody even watched it.
I seen it.
Yeah, you saw it. You and 10 other people. Nobody watched that shit.
I watched it when she dipped her toe in the pool and they drained the pool because she was black. Pissed me off.
Nobody watched that shit.
I did, just because I knew the story of Dorothy Dandridge.
Her being in X-Men low key saved her career. And then she was in Swordfish, and then that was the peak.
Monsters Ball.
Monsters Ball was when she went downhill. The peak of her career was Swordfish. That was the peak. And this was the mistake she made. Remember what she did in Swordfish?
She showed her tatas.
She showed her titties, and she had never did it before. She pulling a La La Anthony, and she been downhill ever since.
Yeah.
You make me feel good. I want to feel good. Like
she went downhill because Diddy was her husband in that movie.
He was her husband in that movie. Oh my God.
And they did away with him in the very beginning.
Diddler strikes again. He was.
See, I remember.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Fault.
That is
blame it on him.
That is messed up.
It's his fault her career went down when he probably talked her into it.
That Catwoman movie ain't help either.
Yeah, it was okay.
That movie was horrible. That movie was the CGI in that. I could
You're
make.
not gonna give her anything? Get out of here.
No, I will give her movie. She was phenomenal in Swordfish. She was good in Swordfish.
Why? Because she was bucking naked?
No, she was good for the character she played in Swordfish. I'm still surprised she showed everybody her titties. But she was good in Swordfish because I'm like, okay, she's starting to get bigger roles. She started whatever. And then she did Monsters Ball, and I was just disgusted.
It's Diddy's fault.
I was just completely and utterly disgusted. Still disgusted to this day.
So what were you? You was disgusted?
I was disgusted. Horrible. Horrible. And look, if you really want to be honest, the only reason she's like really a superstar is because we made her a superstar. Like us black folks supported her movies even when they sucked. That's what that is.
Oh, I liked her in X-Men. I liked her in Boomerang. I liked her in Strictly Business was cool. I mean, I like her. She's cool. She's not Angela Bassett to me. She's not a
exactly. That's my point.
But I like her. She's all right. I don't see myself dropping what I'm doing to go run and see a movie she did. But if it come on Prime,
Angela Bassett would never show her titties in no movie.
First of all, nobody don't want to see those at 137 years old.
You don't know who wanted to see. There's a whole lot of Otises out here. You don't know who would want to see it. But she got too much class for that. Angela Bassett is not gonna show her boobs in no movie. She ain't gonna do it. She ain't gonna do it. She's not gonna do it. But I'm gonna let you go because you obviously was on your way to doing something. I'm gonna let you go so I can go back to talking this smack because we ain't got to her wig yet. We gonna get to her wig.
Oh my God! Leave that child hair alone. Bye.
All right. Told y'all I ain't crazy. I'm not the only one that remembers that back in the day. Back in the day, David Justice wasn't a nobody. David Justice wasn't a nobody. And to sit here, you know what's crazy? This is what's crazy to me. What's crazy to me is they were married, right? Halle Berry and David Justice was married. Let's see, how many years? How many years was Halle Berry and David Justice married? They were married for 4 years. This was his wife for 4 years, and you got people talking about, oh, how he bringing this up? This was 30 years ago. So what? Vivica keep bringing up 50, and they dated 20 some years ago, and they wasn't even married. They dated for less than a year. Hold on, let me see. How long did How long did 50 Cent and Vivica Fox date? They only dated for a few months in 2003. Don't nobody be when she get on interviews and she start talking about 50 and how she would spin the block and all of that goofiness. Don't nobody jump on the internet and just start talking trash about Vivica Fox for bringing up 50. Yeah, a few months. But then when it comes to David Justice, who was married to Halle Berry for 4 years, oh, he can't. Why he bringing that up? That was 30-some years ago. That was, he can bring it up if he want to. How you gonna tell it? Yo, there's even a chick that jumped on TikTok. I gotta show it to you. This was hilarious, bruh. This is what took the cake, man. Hold on, let me see. Where is it at? Look at this right here, bro.
When men hit the wall, like David Justice, they begin to talk about their glory days.
When men hit the wall, when are they gonna learn how to come up with their own sayings and stuff, man? First of all, men don't hit a wall, you idiot. What are you talking about? But hold on, where's the one?
Listen, we never...
David. You could have simply said next question instead of the bull you actually said. Damn. One thing I've never played about is my icon, my multifaceted queen mother, Halle Berry. So imagine...
Man, shut up.
Imagine.
We probably...
The reason why David Justice is talking about Halle Berry is because in his mind... he's still in his prime and wearing his chanclas and he's by the waterfall with Halle Berry and he just doesn't understand that it's been 25 years now. And then he went on this interview and lied and said that he left Halle Berry when it says here that Berry filed for divorce in 1996 and Justice filed his own divorce papers 2 weeks later.
Did she literally dispute David Justice's account of his own relationship with a Google search? Did y'all see that? This woman right here disputed David Justice's account of his own relationship with a Google search. So we're supposed to believe you and a Google search knows more about David Justice's relationship than David Justice. Do you see how desperate they are to avoid L's? Do you see how, in their mind, it's impossible that David Justice left Halle Berry. What? What are we talking about? This is embarrassing at this point, fam. This is ridiculous, fam. Excuse me. Shout out to John. He said, keep cooking, bro. Shout out to Jay the Transporter. Said she had us think for almost 30 years this man was abusive. Nasty work. Facts. In fact, she may be the reason he didn't get into the Hall of Fame. Yeah, David Justice. Look, check this out. I want y'all to see this. Is David Justice in the Baseball Hall of Fame? No, David Justice is not in the Baseball Hall of Fame. He was eligible for the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame in 2008, but received only one vote, which removed him from future ballots. Additionally, he was mentioned in the Mitchell Report, further impacting his chances of being inducted, according to a kids encyclopedia, while he was inducted into the Atlanta Braves Hall of Fame in 2007, according to After Sports and more. Like, bro. So he's in the Atlanta Braves Hall of Fame, but he's not in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. And I bet you any amount of money it's because of that, bro. I guarantee you it's because of Halle Berry letting everybody think that man did that all these years. I bet you. Shout out to Bryson. Appreciate you. Shout out to JRA in the building to be the first sponsor of the show. Let's get you up on the board. He says, shaking my head, some of them women, AM, can't be saved and don't want to be saved. This is crazy talk. David Justice was that dude. And if you were around in the 90s, you will agree. Facts.
Here we go again. $100 boss up. Going down. Stack up and match up.
Like, this is when, see, whenever stuff like this happen, this is when the culture, this is why I don't got no respect for the culture. This is why I can't stand the culture. This is why I can't stand the community. Because this is one of those instances where the culture is supposed to stand up and be like, hey, look. Y'all can disagree with what David Justice said. You know, you could say it was in poor taste, but don't jump on the internet talking about this man is washed up and talking about this man like he was a nobody. Like, what are we talking about? Shout out to Jay the Transporter. Said Halle Berry was in Boomerang in 1992. Dave was smacking home runs in the World Series in 92. Shaking my facts. Shout out to P. Rothstein. Said David Justice was the bigger star at the time. Halle Berry had not ascended to her height until after David Justice. When he left her, everybody was like, she must be crazy. She didn't have money then. Facts. Shout out to Stevie J. Said Stacy Dash date Jada. Shout out to the lowly one. Said Holly Robinson from 21 Jump Street was my crush. Sally Richardson was fine. Heck, I was even looking at Tia Carrera and Selma Hayek back then. Shout out to Lydell. Lydell said Halle Berry wasn't even a major star in 1992. David Justice was major in 92. Exactly. Shout out to Hollow Man. Said they talking like Holly on Angela Bassett level. Yep. Shout out to Lydell. Said Angela Bassett is everything. Like, let's keep it real, bro. Like, there's enough, we got enough cap going on. And by the way, yo, we need some people to support on the Cash App side of the game. I don't know what's going on with the Cash App. I don't know what's going on. Shout out to RE. He says salute. Appreciate you. Shout out to IMP. IMP says salute AM, the light-skinned God. Cook these hyenas. Shout out to Quinn. He said thanks for the stream. Shout out to JD. Said we was more shocked she snagged him back then. Facts. 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 Shout out to shout out to ESS Munchie. Said thanks, King BINO. Appreciate you. Yo, we need some more support on the Cash App side of the game. This is crazy. This is madness. This is madness. I don't care what nobody say. The idea that you got all of these people all over the internet talking crazy about David Justice simply because he didn't trash her in that interview. He didn't trash her. He just said he didn't appreciate the fact that she let everybody believe that he was the one that hit her in the ear and caused her hearing loss. Now, I don't know how true it is. They've been throwing a name out there, but here's my thing. I'm not going to throw that name out there. And the reason why I'm not going to throw that name out there is because I don't even know if that was the person that did it. And we got enough. It's just like Jadakiss said, man. We got enough accusations and foolishness going on in the quote unquote community. There's enough of that going on, man. We ain't got time for it. We ain't got time for it. I'm not gonna sit up here and say, oh, it must have been that guy. It must have been that dude that did that. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that because every time you notice we always have to destroy men's reputations in order to, I shouldn't even say it. I shouldn't even say it, man. I shouldn't even say it, bro. I shouldn't even say it. By the way, hold on. I shouldn't even say it. I shouldn't even say it. We have now implemented the member-only chat. If y'all want me to open the chat room back up, hit the Cash App and support the show. We need to get the Cash App support up. Hit the Cash App and support the show, and we'll open the chat room back up. But I'm gonna say it because it needs to be said. I'm gonna say it. Have you ever noticed that we always have to destroy men's reputations in order to cover up the mistakes that women have made in their dating and mating lives? These women are all on the internet so desperate to try to save Halle Berry from accountability. They're so desperate to try to make it seem like Halle Berry didn't do anything wrong, which resulted in David Justice not wanting to be with her. They want to keep this shit going so desperately that they're willing to try to destroy David Justice's reputation as if we ain't seen. Bro, let me ask you guys this question. Not too long ago, didn't one of Halle Berry's ex-husbands get granted alimony? Didn't I go live about that? Do y'all remember that? How many of y'all remember that? Wasn't it Halle Berry who one of her ex-husbands, who just happens to be a white guy, get granted alimony? Wasn't these, wow, did you hear any of these sisters from the Sisterhood this loud about that as they are about this? I don't remember them saying anything about that situation. I remember them being extremely quiet about that situation. But if I remember correctly, he has custody of the children or the kid. I can't remember. Let me see. Hold on. Let's look it up. Did Halle Berry have to pay her ex-husband? Okay. So here it is right here. Yes, Halle Berry had to pay child support to her ex-husband, Oliver Martinez, as part of their divorce settlement. The settlement includes a monthly payment of $8,000 for their son, Maceo, as well as 4.3% of any income she earned above $2 million. Additionally, Berry was responsible for Maceo's private school tuition and extracurricular activities and health insurance. Let's see if we can pull up a picture of good old Halle Berry and Oliver. Let's pull up a picture of good old Halle Berry and Oliver. Oh, I wonder why the Sisterhood was quiet. I wonder why the Sisterhood didn't have anything to say. You got all the smoke in the world for David Justice. You got all the smoke in the world for David Justice, but for some odd reason, you ain't got no smoke for Oliver. She got to pay Oliver $8,000 a month in addition to 4.3%. 4.3% of any income she receives that's over $2 million annually. So if she makes more than $2 million annually, she got to pay Oliver 4.3% of that money. Now look, for everybody watching this, y'all already know how I get down. I don't care if people date interracially. I don't care if people marry interracially. I don't care if people have kids interracially. I don't care about none of that. My thing is this. Keep that same energy. That's what I'm saying. Keep that same energy. The energy you got for the brothers, keep that same energy with every group of men you deal with. Keep that same energy. Don't have all the smoke in the world for the brothers, and then when you get with somebody of non-brother background, all of a sudden, now you quiet. You ain't got nothing to say. And here's the funny thing. This is what's so hilarious about the whole thing. This is what's so funny about the whole thing. All she had to do was cook and clean, and she could have avoided $8,000 a month in child support and 4.3% of any income she makes over $2 million annually. That's all she had to do was cook and clean, and she could have avoided all of that foolishness.
Tell him about the gun line, boss.
Hey, what we talking about? What are we talking about? Now, I'm going to tell y'all the truth. As much as I would love to keep cooking, we barely have any support on the Cash App side of the game. So, unless we can get 10 people to support on the Cash App side, we gonna have to shut it down. We gonna have to shut it down unless we can get 10 people to support on the Cash App side. Shout out to Hollywood Hayes, appreciate the membership. If we get 10 people to support in the next 10 minutes, we'll keep the party going, and we'll open the chat back up. How's that sound? If we can get 10 supporters on the Cash App side, in the next 10 minutes, we'll keep the party going, and we'll open the chat room back up. This is amazing to me. How many ex-husbands does Halle Berry have? She got 3 ex-husbands. David Justice, Eric Benet, and Oliver Martinez. So she was married to David Justice from 1993 to 1997. Then she was married to Eric Benet from 2001 to 2005, right? Then she was married to Oliver from 2013 to 2016. That's crazy. That's crazy. Let's see what else they had to say about Halle. Let's see what else they had to say about Halle.
Not that I got a dog in the fight, but y'all getting real disrespectful toward the David Justice. Listen, I know that y'all on the internet like to pick and choose who you like and who you don't, but calling David Justice names, saying that he washed up, saying that he's a nobody, being in the comments talking about who is he? Are you okay? If y'all gonna talk shit about David,
All right, now stop tripping.
not that I got a dog in the fight, but y'all getting real list too. Yes, this is a regular schmegular man at the end of the day, and men do.
Now, I know ain't nothing wrong with my internet. I know ain't nothing wrong with my Wi-Fi. You feel me? I don't know if y'all noticed, but whenever we start getting close to Apple's launch of a new iPhone, have you noticed your iPhone start tripping? Every time we start getting close to this time of year, when Apple is getting ready to launch another iPhone, then all of a sudden you start having these goofy problems.
Not that I got a dog in the fight, but y'all getting real disrespectful toward the David Justice. Listen, I know that y'all on the internet like to pick and choose who you like and who you don't, but calling David Justice names, saying that he washed up, saying that he's a nobody, being in the comments talking about who is he? Are you okay? If y'all gonna talk shit about David Justice, you might as well go ahead and add your precious Deion Sanders to that list too. Yes, this is a regular schmegular man at the end of the day, and men do expect for their wives to do certain things. Like, I'm completely confused. I didn't see the interview, but y'all's reactions is like hella weird. Like,
Just it had no problem playing all of the mud flaps that had a problem with David Justice. But as soon as we got a woman up here defending David Justice, now all of a sudden it don't want to work. Now all of a sudden it want to trip.
She asked,
What was it like?
Gender war.
it really wasn't. Listen, I met Halle.
What was it like?
Did you really blow a kiss at Nas at the Barbra Streisand?
Did David Justice cause Halle Berry to be mostly deaf in her left ear? Did he really ask for alimony in their divorce? Was their entire marriage a publicity stunt like that one singer and that one tight end? But if you're like me, you remember more about their divorce than their actual marriage. But before I tell you how it all ended, I do want to start at the beginning of their love story. So David...
Have you ever noticed that it always be the unattractive women that's always in everybody's business? Have y'all ever noticed that? Have y'all ever noticed, like, seriously, have y'all ever noticed that drop dead gorgeous women are never in other people's business? Have you ever noticed that? Like, if you come across a drop dead gorgeous woman on social media, they're never in nobody else's business. Like, they'll have a video where they're like living their best life. Like, they'll be on a yacht, or they'll be at some vacation spot, you know, taking selfies by the pool and shit, or you know, or they'll be sitting in a freaking foreign car that whatever dude they're dealing with has, you know, they'll be doing all kind, like, they'll just be living life. But it's always the chicks that look like a thumb that just be in everybody's business, in everybody's relationship. And it's like, bro, like, oh my God, I wish to God that these chicks were more attractive. I do. I want that for them. I want that for them, because if we could just get them, if we could just get a lamp, get Aladdin's lamp, and just make a wish for the women to be more attractive, like, they can get out of everybody's business, bro. Because this is crazy. This is ridiculous. Shout out to Elijah. He said supporting the show. Appreciate you. Shout out to Deborah, said, I'm enjoying this content. Open the chat back up. I still like Halle Berry, LOL. Appreciate you. Let's see. Let's see who we got. My man Aaron in the building. He said, just watch the 1983 vid on child support. If I email it to you, it will likely be your next show. Can I email it to you? Effing boomers. Yeah, email that joint to me. AskTheAngryman@gmail.com. Definitely email it to me. I'll check it out. Shout out to Famous Davis. He said, been watching from the clouds, read your book again. Excellent read. If it wasn't for X-Men, Halle Berry would be another has-been hula hoop. Click, clack. Woo! 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 Yo, shout out to Cool Eric, said, bro, I dated a chick that looked like a thumb, and that's exactly how she was. I was with her for 4 years, too. Thumbelina had some special skills, but nonetheless, she was a thumb and acted like it. Oh my God, that is hilarious. Yo, shout out to Harold. Harold said women had gone crazy over David Justice back then. Hell yeah, man. David Justice was that guy. Shout out to Demetrius. He said CGA showed Halle Berry going live trying to cook. What a disaster. Ladies, cooking and cleaning are basic life skills, not oppressive and toxic. Why is it important for women to have these life skills? For the person in the back. AM. It's important. We all know why it's important. The funny thing about it is these women act like, I got the email, Aaron, appreciate you. These women act like children don't have to eat. They act like children don't have to live in clean houses. Shout out to Norman. He said, not much, but some support. Appreciate your show. Appreciate you, bro. They act like children are not supposed to eat and children are not supposed to be in clean houses. Like, come on, let's be real. Shout out to D-Rock Den. He said, AMG, you need an actual live hyena drop. You know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to get that hyena drop. Shout out to Zero Fallout. Said, when it's white, it's all right. That boy is good. Shout out to Tahiri. He said, support. Shout out to Heza Leo. Said, one love. Hashtag Gen X. Shout out to Abdul. Appreciate you. Shout out to Ambush. Ambush says she's a 3-time loser. Shout out to, I think this is Natalie. Said, keep cooking, AM. Appreciate you. Shout out to Steve. He said, supporting the show. Shout out to Tim Dog. He said, 3 divorces. Halle is the common denominator. That's facts. That's facts. We definitely got 10 people to support. So we gonna open up. We're gonna open the chat back up. Open that bad boy back up. You feel me? Like, I don't know why people are surprised at this. Like, anybody that has been around long enough and paid attention to the exploits of Halle Berry as far as her relationships, we all know what it was. We know Halle was the issue. Shout out to Fire Wheel. We all know Halle was the issue. Shout out to How To. What's going on, How To, man? What's good with you, fam? We all know. He said, still rocking with you, my guy. Keep doing your thing. Been applying everything you taught me. No doubt. Appreciate you, bro. Shout out to Cutie Exec. He said, this proves no one is above justice. LOL. Bruh. We all know. Like, we not crazy. We know what it is with Halle. We know she crazy. Anybody, look, I'm going to tell you 2 things I know from what I've observed, right? From what I've observed from afar, and keep in mind, this is just my opinion, and this is just speculation. I can't say for certain that this is what it is, right? But this is just my educated guess, right? Shout out to Y'all Know I Won. Said, I guess these women forgot about Halle's freeway situation. This is what this is what I believe personally about the situation. I believe that Halle is toxic. I believe she's toxic. You feel me? Shout out to Aaron. He said, Halle always naked, monsters, ball, swordfish. Yeah. I believe she's toxic. I believe that she's toxic. I believe that she's been passed around. You got the Gilbert Arenas story. You got the rumors about Monsters Ball where people are saying that they were really having sex. I don't know how true that is, but it looked pretty authentic, right? You got that. You got the story that David Justice told about her kissing some dude in the mouth. You feel me? You got a lot of situations that point to the fact that Halle was possibly the problem. Okay? And here's the thing. I want to, you know what? I want to dive into this topic for a brief second. I want to jump into this topic for a second, right? And when I say this, I'm speaking for all of the real men and when I say real men, I don't mean it in the sense that women mean real men, right? You know, when women say real men, they're trying to qualify you based on what you do for them, right? That's not what I mean when I say real men. When y'all hear me say real men, I'm talking about the men who are out here in the real world, not the ones that are just on the internet. So when I say real men, I'm talking about the men who are in the real world, not the internet men, because internet men love to cap. Internet men love to tell lies. Internet men love to pretend that something is what it ain't, right? So, and they don't realize when they do that, they make it easier for women to play the games that they play, right? Prime example is when you get up on the internet, these internet dudes, and you try to say that the only acceptable type of woman is a dime or a 10, right? You get up here and you say that, oh, the only type of woman that I'm going to deal with is a 10, right? And what that does is that gives women on the internet ammo, right? It gives them ammo because now what they can do is they can run around trying to qualify you based on the women you've dealt with in the past, in addition to over bloating their ego based upon their looks. Don't you realize that if you're, it's funny because let's say for argument's sake, you dated Halle Berry. And let's say that Halle Berry was doing some goofy stuff and you broke up with her. Don't you realize that it doesn't matter what direction you go when it comes to picking a woman after Halle Berry? If you find a chick that look better than Halle Berry gonna be mad about that shit. If you find a chick that doesn't look as good as Halle Berry gonna be mad about that shit. See, y'all dudes be thinking that humbling a chick only happens when you upgrade on her. No. You could also humble a chick by getting with a chick that ain't as good looking as her. Because she's going to be like, wow, really? You left me for her? Yeah, absolutely. Sure did. Absolutely. Right? Like, but see, dudes nowadays don't understand this, right? because they're trying to operate based off of women's logic. You understand? So women will get on the internet, and this is what they'll say, right? They'll say, well, first of all, you ain't no high value man. Look at some of the women you had sex with, right? And every time I hear women say stuff like that, every time I hear women try to qualify men based on what type of woman they slept with or whatever, the first thing I'll be thinking to myself is, when did looks ever correlate to good box? I'm going to ask the question again. When did looks ever correlate to good box? It never has. So to the women up here that try your best to understand why a guy that can get a good looking woman would ever have sex with a woman that's average, because guys know that your looks ain't got shit to do with that box. It has absolutely nothing to do with it. Now, if the guy messes around and finds a chick that look good and got good box, oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. But one of the worst things in this world is a good-looking woman that's a headache, that's problematic, and she don't got no good box. That is the worst combination that has ever existed. Okay? And this is what I mean when I say women do not understand men. Okay? Women don't understand men. You don't get us. You don't understand the way we work. Okay? You don't understand how we operate, how we think. You feel me? Because look, you could have a guy out here and there could be a chick that is not attractive in the face, right? Let's say that she looks like Sexy Red, right? But worse. You feel me? If there's a rumor going around that she got that gorilla grip kapow, there are so many dudes that ain't never gonna admit it to you. They ain't never gonna say it. But if they could set up a covert Jason Bourne mission, you best believe they gonna do it. You best believe they gonna do it. They gonna set up that covert Jason Bourne mission, and they gonna be moving, bro. Let me tell you something, dudes. When it come to that, they will move like the CIA, bro. They will move so freaking strategic, you would never guess it. You would never guess it, bro. And once they do it, that shit is gonna be classified. You feel me? If you ever find them files, there's gonna be so much redacted shit in it. You gonna try to read it like, what the hell, man? This shit is extremely redacted. Like, where was he? You ain't gonna never find out where he was. You ain't never gonna find out where he was, when he was there, and look, he gonna deny it. I wouldn't care if you captured him and waterboarded him. He ain't never gonna admit it. He ain't never gonna admit it. If a dude found out that a chick like Sexy with the Sexy Red face, I'm talking about the type of chick you would never want to be seen with in public. You feel me? If he find out that if there's a rumor that she got the most amazing box in the world, bro, that nigga gonna turn into Jason Bourne, I promise you. He gonna turn into Jason Bourne. Telling you right now. And you could torture him, you could waterboard him, you could threaten You could threaten everything in this world. He ain't never gonna admit it. He's never gonna admit it. The only way that anybody will ever find out is if she tell everybody. You feel me? That's the only way, and even then he gonna deny it. Even then he gonna be like, hell no. No, he gonna take it to his grave. I'm telling you right now. So the reason why I say that is because I'm tired of women thinking that the only thing that moves us is a woman's physical looks. I'm tired of women thinking that shit. I'm tired of women thinking that shit. Let me tell you something. When it comes to, look, every man out here would love to be able to pull gorgeous women every single time he shoot his shot. Every dude out here would love to have that type of average. They would love to be able to, every single time they go shoot their shot, they shooting their shot at a bad chick. Every time, right? They would love it. They would love to be able to do that, right? But here's the thing. Remember on The Matrix when remember the conversation that Neo was having with the architect? Let me see if I can pull it up.
Initially created to investigate, that if left unchecked might threaten the system. Time we have destroyed it, and we have become exceedingly efficient at it. The function of the one is now to return to the source, allowing a temporary dissemination of the code you carry, reinserting the prime program. After which you will be required to select from the matrix 23 individuals, 16 female, 7 male, to rebuild Zion. Failure to comply with this process will result in a cataclysmic system crash, killing everyone connected to the Matrix, which, coupled with the extermination of Zion, will ultimately result in the extinction of the entire human race.
You won't let it happen. You can't. You need human beings to survive.
There are levels of survival we are prepared to accept.
There are levels of survival that we are prepared to accept. Did you hear what he said? He told him, he said, if you don't do X, Y, Z, it's going to create a system crash that's going to take out everybody connected to the Matrix. That, coupled with everybody in Zion being taken out, will cause the extinction of the entire human race. And Neo was like, you're not going to do that because you need humans to survive. And he said, there are levels of survival that we are willing. And that's what women don't get about men when it comes to their sex life when they're single, okay? They don't get this. Like, bruh, if a dude is trying to get him some, just because all of the gorgeous women he shot his shot at didn't give him no time, didn't give him the time of day, that ain't gonna stop him from getting some. It's not. It's not, bruh.
Extinction of the entire human race.
Human beings to survive.
There are levels of survival we are prepared to accept.
There are levels of society. He said there are levels of survival that we are prepared to accept. Let me tell you something. When a dude ain't got him none in a while and he goes to that bar to hang out, he goes to that bar or that lounge or wherever, right? And he done hollered at every bad chick in there. And it's getting late. He done hollered at every chick and ain't now one of them showed him no love. It's getting late. Last call. Almost time for the lights to come on. In that moment, a dude will make a decision because there are levels of survival that men are willing to accept. Now, I'm not saying they won't regret it. I'm not saying they won't regret it. But there are levels to this shit. There's levels to this shit, young boy. Oh my God. I was watching, me and my wife was watching Happy Gilmore, right? If you remember, there's that one scene at the beginning when his girlfriend leaves him and he's on the intercom talking to her and he starts singing, I want to kiss you all over and over and again. I want to kiss you all over till the night close. What is it? Dum, 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 dum. Till the night closes in. Till the night closes. And then the Asian lady opened up the door and Happy Gilmore was like. And then the next morning, he was leaving and she was like, she had on his shirt talking about some, you know what, breakfast? My wife said, men are so disgusting. I said, you have no idea. Because she was like, I could never. I'm like, you have no earthly idea. Oh my God. Interesting fact about that song. That was the hit song the year I was born. The month and the year the day. The day that I was born, that was the hit song. That particular song right there. Shout out to Aaron. Aaron said, she ugly, but she's nice to me. How's that? Facts. Yo, shout out to Raheem. He said, for coffee. Appreciate you. Shout out to Jada Transport. He said, wouldn't marry anyone who would leave the scene of an accident. Shout out to Jeff. Jeff said, no cap, worked with a OG a few years back at Amazon in Indy who swears he used to run through Halle Berry when she was married. Thought it was lies until I heard dude say she kissed dude in the mouth. Hey, you'll be surprised. Like, celebrities are regular people. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Five Will. Appreciate you. Celebrities are regular people. You be surprised what type of shenanigans that they engage in. But yeah, like that's and look, the fact that men can compartmentalize like that, okay? The fact that a man can take a woman's looks and separate it from her sexuality. It's a damn superpower. Dudes don't even realize this. Said Arnold Schwarzenegger and The Housekeeper. Absolutely. Absolutely. The women could not understand that situation. And there was a bunch of men trying to pretend like they didn't understand that situation. It's like, why would Arnold Schwarzenegger screw his freaking housekeeper? Did you see her? Because she was there. That's really the answer. I know that sounds horrible, and I know there's so many people that's going to be like, oh my God, that's disgusting, but that's the answer. She was there. She was there. He probably got hard, and she was right there. She was right there, and she was willing. You feel me? Like, I don't know why they think this is rocket science, but getting back to what I was saying, the fact that men can separate those two things is a superpower. I don't know if y'all remember, but there was one time that Patrice O'Neal was on the Opie and Anthony show, right? Shout out to Percy. He says support the shoe. And they were talking about how women will be watching shows, right? And it'll be one of those shows where it got multiple women or whatever, right? Or there'll be some on TV, and he's like, I think Opie or one of them said, I hate that when the girls ask you, which girl do you think is attractive? Because there's never a right answer. They're always going to get offended. And Patrice was like, that don't really bother me. He said, because if his girl asked him, he said, it'll be a bunch of beautiful women up there, and it'll be one chick that is massively overweight, like one big fat chick, right? He said when his girl asked him which one he think is attractive, he said he points right at the big one, that one right there. That one. That one right there. Bruh. I can't even begin to explain to you how diabolical that shit is. Do you have any earthly idea what that does psychologically? Especially if your girl is a gorgeous chick. Like, do you have any idea what that does psychologically? Like, any earthly idea? Like, bro, I'm gonna tell you the truth, man. We really lost one with Patrice, fam. Patrice was diabolical. He was diabolical, bro. He was diabolical. And cats don't even to this day, cats still don't understand his genius. They still don't understand it, bro. They still don't understand it. Like, even in that moment, what he was doing was, his girl was trying to get him to point out the most gorgeous chick in that lineup so that she could then try to ask him if that chick looks better than her. Right? So that's the whole setup of that. She wants you to point to the baddest chick so she can then compare her beauty to that chick. Because in her mind, she knows that chick is gorgeous. And what she's trying to pull out of you is some validation. She's trying to fish a compliment out of you, right? She's trying to get the validation of you saying that the most gorgeous chick in that lineup is beautiful, but she's not as beautiful as you. That's the whole purpose of that, right? And by Patrice O'Neal pointing at the most unattractive woman up there, it basically said to his girl, I don't give a shit about your looks. Are you good looking? Yes. But I don't give a damn about that. See, when a dude gets into a relationship with a really good looking woman, she now knows that he doesn't have a lot of options because there ain't but so many dimes in the world. There ain't but so many good looking women in the world. But what happens when that dude is on some Patrice O'Neal type shit? All of a sudden now, he's got every option you can think of. Because he just pointed at the most unattractive chick. He literally, that one right there. I could only imagine the look on her face when he did it. I could only imagine, like, oh, that one right there, that big husky one right there. Oh my God. All of a sudden, just because now she can't ask the question because she knows she looked better than her. Now she can't be like, do you think she looks better? She knows. Like, soon as he says, well, do you, even if she was crazy enough to ask the question, do you think she looks better than me? Of course. But now she can't ask the next question. The next question would be, well, why would you be with me if, why would you think she's attractive and be with me? See that? She don't want the answer to that question. She don't want the answer to that question. Because, like, if he's like, oh, well, am I not more attractive than her? Of course you are. Then why would you point at her? Then he can say, because that's the type of chicks I usually deal with. Now it's like, now it's like, look, Shy Bunny said, sounds like an insecurity game. No, it's not an insecurity game. It's not an insecurity game. What it is called a humbling. That's what it is. That's what it is. By Patrice doing that, he proved definitively to his girl that she was not as important as she thought she was. He was nullifying that main character syndrome. That's what he was doing. That's what he was doing. He was nullifying that main character syndrome, that I'm the most important person in the room bullshit. That's what he was doing. Because first of all, why you even asking him a question like that? That's just like if I'm sitting there watching TV and there's a bunch of dudes, there's a bunch of bodybuilding dudes on TV, and I say to my wife, which one of them do you think is the most attractive? First of all, why would I even ask her a question like that? Number one, she's with me. She's not with the dudes on the fucking TV. So why would I even ask that? Why would I even ask that question? Why would I even ask that question? Shy Bunny said, oh, okay, but wouldn't she be insecure if she's comparing herself to other women? That's a difficult question. And the reason why it's a difficult question is because it's not what's the best way to say this? All of you are insecure. There's no such thing as a woman that's not insecure. And the reason why is because you live in a world where you're judged by your beauty. So that inherently makes you insecure. It makes you constantly what's the word for it? There's a specific word for it. It makes you constantly mindful of where you rank in the world of beauty. So it's impossible for women not to be insecure. And the craziest thing about it is most people don't even realize this. The worse, the more unattractive a woman is, the more insecure she is. And the more beautiful a woman is, the more insecure she is. Usually with y'all, it's not a matter of if you're insecure or not insecure. It's a matter of how insecure. So usually dudes, in my opinion, most guys are better off dealing with a woman that's right there in the center, like a 7. And the reason why is because for some reason, when you get right there in a 7, that's when you deal with the least amount of insecurity. 7 is where, it kind of balances itself out a little bit. But when you start going to the lower numbers, there's going to be way more insecurity. The insecurity is going to get so bad that if you come across a woman that's a 2 and you give her a compliment, she'll curse you out because she knows she don't look good. She'll talk shit to you. She'll be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you said that to me." You'll be like, "I only said you were beautiful. Don't be telling me I'm beautiful." She'll go off on you because she knows she ain't beautiful, and she feel like you blowing smoke up her ass, right? But then when you get to the higher level, like if you get to a 9 or a 10, right? They'll pretend like they got confidence, but they're always worried about losing their beauty, losing the thing that gives them the benefit that they have, that they walk around with all the time. You feel what I'm saying? Because a lot of them, they get certain perks for being beautiful. And the moment that that's no longer there, they know they're going to lose those perks. In addition to the fact that there's so much competition at that level. You feel me? There's so much, and they're breaking their neck to try to be perfect based upon the beauty standard or whatever. So it makes them extremely insecure. Any dude will tell you this. If you're a single guy and you're in the dating world, the easiest chick to bag if you're a charismatic dude is a chick that's a dime or a 10 or whatever. Because a lot of dudes don't even approach them because they worried about being rejected. So a lot of times women that look like that, they don't even get approached. You feel me? They don't even get approached. But yeah, like if you get to like right at the 7, right at the average, you feel me? You don't have to deal with as much goofiness, right? Shy Bunny said, "Wow, Shannon Sharp just said that about a woman who was like a 10 in everything, looks, education, intellect," and the woman said he was lying. He was lying about what? I didn't see that. He was lying about what? What, said that she was good looking, said that she was a 10 and she said he was lying. Well, that's because she's insecure. She didn't believe him. She felt he wasn't what he described. She felt she wasn't what he described. Of course, because she's insecure. Really, really pretty women are insecure. Really ugly women are insecure. All women are insecure about something because you're judged based off of your physicality. But anyway, shout out to my man, Famous David said, "You got my Venmo, click clack." Yeah, I got it, bro. I think I read it. Let me see if there was another one. Yeah, I read it, fam. Shout out to, I already read that one. So with that being said, man, we about to get up out of here. Shout out to everybody that came through. Ultimately, at the end of the day, these chicks running around here saying that, running around here talking about, well, David Justice, he was with Halle Berry. Like, that don't mean nothing. It don't mean nothing. Like, it don't mean nothing. Like, because women are ranked by their beauty, they truly believe that their beauty is just as important to us men as it is to them. And it's not. It's not. When you women jump out here and you put on makeup, when you put on them extra long eyelashes and the wigs and the contour makeup, you're really doing that to try to impress other women, because you're not doing it for us. Men don't care about all of that. You don't have to have all of that. If you just have basic makeup, that's fine. If you're presentable, that's fine for a dude. Like, y'all think like, and when I'm saying dudes, I'm talking about dudes out here in the real world, not these dudes that get on the internet and act like, oh, the only way they can be with a woman is if she's a perfect 10 and she has a Coke bottle shape and blah, blah, blah. That's bullshit. That's internet shit. Okay? You go out here in the real world, dudes is not with no damn dimes. Every once in a while, you'll see a dude with a chick that might be an 8, maybe. You feel what I'm saying? Maybe, right? So no, that's not the real world. Okay, in the real world, most dudes are with 7s. You feel me? Like in the real world, you feel me? Most dudes are with 7s. So to run around here talking about some, like, bro, a woman, look, how good you look as a woman is never going to guarantee that you keep a man. That's never going to guarantee it. That's never going to guarantee it. The only thing that guarantees a man is going to stick around is your temperament. If that man can be at peace around you, he ain't going nowhere. If you get on his nerves and you always nagging him and nitpicking and arguing and starting shit and keeping a bunch of drama going and all of this foolishness, if you doing that, I don't care what you look like. I don't care what you look like. As the old saying goes, you show me a woman that's a 10 and I'll show you a dude that's tired of her. It don't matter how good you look. Doesn't matter. Your looks can get you in the door, but it don't keep you in the house. Your looks will get you in there, but it ain't going to keep you in there. It ain't going to keep you in there. What's going to keep you in there is your behavior. And that's the one part women don't get. That's the one part that women don't get. What's going to keep you in there is your behavior. Period. Point blank. Shout out to Mama said, I saw 4 different channels hate on you. The hate this past week is crazy. Keep speaking truth. No doubt. Appreciate you. So, with that being said, man, shout out to everybody that came through. Shout out to everybody that contributed to the show. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you go over to Amazon and check out my book, The Angryman Standard, which is available on Amazon. All you have to do is type The Angryman Standard in the search bar, and it will come up. Also, make sure you go over to shopBinoNation.com and check out the merchandise we got over there. Again, that's shopBinoNation.com. But other than that, man, peace to the whole BINO Nation. Appreciate you guys, and I'm going to holler at you later. Peace.
Spartans! What is your profession?